everybody, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be reviewing the Glock 43X. Now I have already modified this gun. I've already set this gun up for the way I want to carry it because I expect it to shoot just like every other Glock I've ever owned. Now I could be surprised, but I went ahead and did all that. So it does have the Overwatch Precision flat face trigger in it, and it does have Ameriglow Spartan sights on it. Now y'all know I either run Spartan sights or I run the night vision sights. I will probably put night visions on my 48, and we may compare this a little bit to the 48 because the frames are the same. I loved my 48 so much that I bought a 43X. Now I know I already own a 43, and I may do a video comparing the 43 and the 43X, letting y'all know why I bought a 43X. But I like my 48 so much, I went ahead and purchased one. But we'll debate that or tell you all why I did that at a later date. Today it's just about how this thing shoots, how the recoil management is, and how the accuracy is. So, like I said, I already put the Overwatch and the Ameriglow sights. It was bone stock. This silver is actually growing on me. It actually shows like rustic wear and stuff from holster and stuff like that. And I kind of like that. I like my guns to look a little bit used, and it doesn't bother me if they get some scratches on them. And this silver is actually growing on me. All my Glocks are black, but one, the custom gun, isn't black, or my two custom guns aren't black. But now I got two more that's not black. And I've seen these in black, but the first ones I seen ship were silver, and these probably have a low serial number. This one's actually 377. Bought this the first day it come out, and actually got my 48 before they were released. So I haven't even checked what the serial number is on it. But it doesn't matter what serial number is, it matters if it will run. One thing I do want to tell you all though, I do carry this in a Tungsten Tactical Appendix holster. I know these guns are starting to hit the market a lot, very quickly, and people are starting to buy these things up. This is for the 48, this is for the 43 and 43X. If you're looking for a holster for these, a lot of companies may not quite have these out yet, but Tungsten Tactical does. I want to show you something on these holsters that make them nicer than a lot of other Appendix holsters I've used. Look at the wing right here. This is the wing that pushes the gun back into your waistline so that it doesn't print. It has this taper to it right here. So some of the other holsters I see actually get like cut off right here, and when you put them in, you have to kind of pull them back to tuck them. This actual radius right here actually helps this thing slide down into your waistband. This is actually one of the easiest holsters I've ever put on as far as an Appendix holsters go. So if you carry Appendix and you're looking for holsters, I know this isn't about that review, but I just want to help you guys out. If you're looking for a holster, check out Tungsten Tactical. I link them in almost every video. Now on with the actual video, or the reason you're here. We're going to just put 10 rounds down range, and I'm going to tell you my thoughts on recoil and stuff like that. Then we'll probably do a 10 shot, quick shot, you know, just some fast shooting to see how recoil management is. And then we'll do a accuracy test. So let's put our ears and eyes on. First shot's down range. I do want to say that's one of the first times I've ever had a Glock slide not lock back. Even in the 48, which has the same identical frame, the slide lock back, you can see here, it does lock back. I'm not sure what happened there. Makes me want to put another 10 rounds through it. I got 10 rounds in the magazine. Lucky for us. It locked back that time. So I guess I was just riding that slide stop, and that's very unusual for me in Glocks because a lot of times I don't do that. But I want you to see, it is just barely catching right there. I mean, I just barely touched that and the slide went back forward. Not sure why it's why it's doing that. Maybe it's just a break-in period of the gun, because the gun is actually really tight. So maybe that's a break-in period, but we're going to shoot that more, because that's a little concerning to me, because I like my guns a lot back. That's why I don't carry the P10C, and I love that gun. But for me, I want to know my gun's empty when it's empty. And I mean, in a gunfight, maybe you aren't going to recognize, so you pull the trigger and nothing happens. But I just like my firearms a lot back. It's meant to do that, and I just like it when it does it. Now, I do want to say, this thing is a little snappy. I said in one of my other videos, when I put the 43 slide on the 48 frame, it didn't feel as snappy, but for some odd reason, this one does feel snappy. It actually snaps enough that it actually pinches my finger a little bit. You can see the skin, how it's raised up, like right there. It actually pinches my finger a little bit underneath this flat face trigger. Don't know why it's doing that, but it is doing it. I don't know why. But what we're gonna do now, we're gonna put 10 more rounds through it, and speed-wise, and I'm gonna tell you what the recoil feels like. Kind of went over recoil right there a little bit, but we're gonna go over a little more, a little quicker. Now, I did read on a post on Instagram the other day that somebody said, why don't you people use the splatter targets so we can see your groups, because a lot of people use steel. That is exactly why I use splatter targets. You see in a lot of my videos that I will have a flyer. A lot of times my groups are fairly tight, and I'll have one flyer somewhere else. I show that. You all see the groups I shoot. You see what me as a person is capable of doing. And with these targets, those targets don't lie. And a lot of people just shoot steel, and you never get to see the accuracy of them. Now, I've got a little piece of equipment I meant to bring that's supposed to help me with accuracy, so you can actually see the accuracy of the gun. Right now, you're just reliant upon my skills, which I'm not saying are great, but that's all you have to rely on this. But those splatter targets do not lie. And I just want to throw it out there, because I did see a post on Instagram where somebody did ask, why don't y'all use something where we can actually see what your accuracy is? I do that. Fast shooting, let's see how she handles. There again, the slide didn't lock back. I'm not understanding that. I never have that problem with a Glock. Now, I've had that problem, and like I said, I even had that problem with the SIG air mag. I have that problem with like the 226s a lot. I ride those slide stops the way they're back on the handles. I ride those all the time, but I never have that problem with a Glock. I'm just not understanding why that's happening. I have to be riding it because it locks back when you do it like that. Even when you do it slow, it locks back. No issues at all. I have to be riding that slide stop, and I don't know why I'm doing it on this one and not the other ones. It doesn't make any sense. But what we're going to do next is set up a new splatter target. We're going to see what kind of accuracy we get out of the Glock 43X. Be right back. Okay, got a new shoot and see splatter target put up. So there again, so y'all can see how I'm hitting. I did put a few rounds through this, just see how it was shooting off camera, a couple of magazines. I'm still having an issue with this slide lock locking back good. I mean, it's locking back for me, but it's barely catching the slide. Not sure why it's doing that. I just don't know if it's a break-in thing that just needs to break in. I've never had a Glock that need to be broke in like that. I don't know if there's an issue with the slide latch. I've put in tons of triggers, and I've never had a problem with any triggers I've ever installed or anything like that affecting the slide lock, and I can't see why this one would either. It's a good quality trigger. I don't believe that's the problem. I think it might just be a break-in period, or maybe I am just riding it just enough that it's slowing it down and not letting it get a full lock. I don't know. If I figure out what that is, I'll let y'all know, but right now I don't know what that is. We're gonna get you turned around and see what kind of accuracy we get out of the little Glock 43X. I'm not super impressed with this. I have to say, even off camera, I had like 3 shots here, 4 shots here, and 1 dead bullseye. I'm going to actually do this test again. I will include this one. I mean, this right here is a group probably within inside, I don't know, maybe 1.5 inches to 2 inches at its widest point. But that is not satisfying to me. So far, the Glock 43X is the hardest Glock that I've tried to shoot yet. I'm not blaming the gun for this shooting. I did just shoot the SIG P365 right before this and got a better group out of it than this right here. But out of all the Glocks I've ever shot, the 43X is the hardest one I've tried to get accuracy out of. Now, this isn't bad accuracy. It is way left. But I don't know. I'm going to do this test again. Okay, we have a new target. It didn't lock back then either. On that last grouping I did, the slide didn't lock back. Still having that issue. Still don't know what's causing that because I've never had that issue with a Glock ever. But let's try it again. Okay, I'm a little more happy with this group right here. Even though this is like probably the same distance as my other one was, they are all touching basically that center ring. Even this one nicked it right here a little bit, and even this one got it here. And you can see it just ripped a big hole. Now, that's probably still a good 1 3/4 to 2 inch gap right here. So, you know, that's not a great grouping. I've had a lot better groupings than other pistols. But I still say that this is the hardest one, hardest Glock I've ever tried to shoot accurately. And I'm not sure why that is. I still don't have that figured out. I do want to say that I tried to keep my thumb off of this and it did lock back good. So I must be riding that and when I kept my thumb kind of on top of my other thumb instead of close to the gun, it did lock back. So that's probably a me thing. But I don't know why I do it on this one, and I did not do it on the 48. There again, decent accuracy at about 7 yards. Nothing to write home about. I still feel like the SIG P365 was more accurate, and it holds the same amount of rounds, and it's a smaller gun. The SIG may get the nod in the everyday carry. Never thought I'd carry a SIG for everyday carry. I'm really liking that P365. I probably put a couple 100 rounds through it, and it never had a malfunction. I just wanted to throw that in there because this is quickly becoming not my favorite Glock, just because of the results I got out of it. Now again, that could be me, but I shot better a minute ago. I just don't know why I don't like this. I shot the 48 better. It's on the same frame. But I shoot my 43 better than I do the 43X, and I get a longer grip on this. I guess I'll continue shooting this, and we'll see how it goes. But I don't know. There's just something about this gun that I'm not liking right now. Not sure this is going to stay in the Gear Runner arsenal as of right now. I'll let y'all know that in upcoming videos. So if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time.